Right now, everyone's wondering what's going to happen with Iran and the situation with the U.S. military buildup in the Middle East. Iranian state media says that Iran's president, Masoud Pezeshkian, has ordered direct talks with the United States to discuss specifically Iran's nuclear file, not the ballistic missile program or the support of proxy groups across the region. Now, reports at this hour indicate that U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff is expected to meet on Friday in Turkey with Iran's foreign minister to begin these discussions. You might remember, though, before the 12-day war last summer, a sixth round of talks was set to take place in Oman between the U.S. and Iran indirectly before the war began. In addition to what's taking place on the ground in terms of possible diplomacy, we're also tracking the movement of U.S. military assets across the region. There are currently an estimated 30 to 40,000 U.S. troops across the Middle East. And this is important for a number of reasons. One has to do with the possibility of U.S. strikes against Iran. The other has to do with the possibility that Iran retaliates in the event of a conflict developing against U.S. forces, targeting a base like Al Udeid in Qatar, or bases in the UAE or Kuwait, or even targeting U.S. ally Israel. And so part of the reason that you see this U.S. military buildup is in preparation for both offensive and defensive actions. There are also a number of planes in countries like Jordan and Oman, and we know the USS Abraham Lincoln Carrier Strike Group is now in place in CENTCOM waters, along with a number of destroyers, not just in the Red Sea, but also in the Persian Gulf and in the Mediterranean Sea. Air defense systems are deployed across the Middle East, and remember, there are just a few THAAD systems available to move to different locations. And so this, again, is an indication that the Americans are taking the threat of Iranian missile fire seriously. I do want to shift to the situation in Israel, where Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu spoke at the Knesset today. He said, Israel is prepared for any scenario. Whoever will attack Israel will carry unbearable results. Again, that was a direct quote from Israel's Prime Minister. And we are getting some reporting today indicating that yesterday, on Sunday, the IDF and U.S. Navy held joint exercises. This was part of an ongoing cooperation, the statement says, between the U.S. Navy and Israel's Navy. Again, we do expect diplomatic efforts to play out this week. U.S. Special Envoy Witkoff will reportedly arrive to Israel tomorrow for discussions with Israeli counterparts, but the army in Israel remains on high alert, fearing a possible direct confrontation with Iran.